off episode 4 of our self-discovery series, and we are more than halfway through, so congratulations and thank you for sticking with me. Question 1 in this week's series is, what are my talents? What are my gifts? What are things that I am good at? Now, this is an important question because 1, it reinforces these abilities, and it's also a great booster, confidence booster and self-esteem booster, which everyone could use a little bit of more. Dang, I'm really good at listening. I am really good at helping. I have amazing artistic talents. These things boost who we are. And a lot of us also define ourselves by the things that we're good at. So, yeah, I'm a writer. Me. I'm a writer. I love writing. I think I'm great. I also think I'm good at it, but it also is beneficial for people around me if I'm sharing my writing. And it's, again, which is also important. Don't keep your talents to yourself. Don't keep the things that you're good at bottled up. Be free and be expressive. It's a part of who you are, and of course, self-discovery. But yeah, when looking at your gifts, be sure to not just look at extrinsic stuff, but also intrinsic stuff. Are you a good listener? Are you really empathetic? Are you really sympathetic? Are you things like that are not just outward talents and outward gifts? Some people can't draw, but but they are great at being supportive and pushers, like getting people out their comfort zone. So these are all things that you're good at, and they're all gifts in some sense, right? Great. So question 2 this week is, how do I move past unpleasant experiences? So this goes back to my video about unhealthy coping mechanisms, but also coping mechanisms as a whole. And just, again, it's in the name, coping mechanisms is supposed to help us deal with these unpleasant experiences. So whether that be really small things or huge, big traumas, it's good to come up with a plan for yourself and how you deal with these things. So it could be little things. That's how we move past these experiences, whether it's just, minor self-care, loving on yourself a little bit harder while you're going through dealing with these experiences, talking it out and talking about it. This one is kind of tricky though. I'm a big fan of being which y'all should know if y'all are keeping up with these videos, of being open and honest with our traumas and just talking about them. But sometimes a lot of people become rooted in their trauma and they talk about it to relive it. And that's also a really bad thing, where you are talking about your experiences not way too much, because it sounds so bad, but you become grounded in who you are. Your trauma becomes a part of you instead of something that has happened to you. And that also has benefits in a way, but a lot of the times it doesn't. And people become just grounded in these bad experiences and they let them define themselves. So talk about it to heal from it, but don't just talk about it to talk about it. Stop watering dead weeds. Stop giving life to these bad things. Talk about it as a way to reminisce and say, yeah, this is what I've been through, yada, 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 but it's not who I am. We talk about, also, be sure you're talking about your trauma in past tense. Verbiage is very strong. And so if you are talking about it like it's something that you're still dealing with, if you aren't dealing with it, it can reawake all those negative feelings and emotions that are wrapped up in that trauma as well. So we will cope with it. We will talk about it until we are healed enough from it to not live from it, to not live it. So again, self-care, talking, creating a good thing with this that goes not with talking about it is creating distance from it. So that's also where it comes about not talking about it so you don't have to relive it, separating the trauma, separating it, putting yourself, giving yourself some time, like, okay, I just can't deal with this right now. So I'm gonna mentally block it off. Again, be careful with this step though, because sometimes we put things off and forget that we have to deal with it, and it'll pop up. You'll never put off healing from something. It'll always pop back up. So if we are giving ourselves a break from a situation, be sure to revisit it to completely heal from it and go full circle, because if you don't choose when you deal with it, it'll choose when you deal with it. And we never want that, because it always pops up in negative in a time where we don't really want it to. Question three this week is, what things do I tend to avoid and why? So this is a big thing. We avoid things because we're avoiding something. It's probably something that we need to deal with. I've been doing some shadow work. I've been doing some shadow work. And so for those of you who don't know, shadow work is just getting to know your negative, the side of you that you hide from the world and from yourself sometimes. And one of the, going into shadow work, one of the things they talk about is when you are trying to look for your shadow and you're trying to face it, you'll know you've made it when you're trying to avoid it. When you reach upon a question and you're supposed to answer it and you're like, no, never mind, I'm gonna skip over that. You're avoiding it because it's something you should be dealing with, you know? We always think that avoiding things is for the best, and that can be true in a short term. So we can, like I said previously for the last question, putting up a block saying that you're not going to deal with something at this time. And that could be for your mental health, for your physical health, just because you don't have the energy to give to a situation. But you shouldn't be avoiding anything in a long-term sense. You shouldn't be avoiding anything. We're facing our issues head on and being very proactive and intentional about it. So with me doing the shadow work, one of the questions, I read it and I was like, yeah, no, we're not going to answer that. And then I skipped ahead. And then a couple minutes as I was in the middle of answering another one, I was like, oh man, fuck it. I really do need to answer that because, it's something that you have to deal with. We have to do the work to get through these things, or again, they'll just pop up. Anything you're avoiding, you'll face it. Whether you choose to face it or again, it chooses to face you, but it's something that you want to deal with, and you always want to have the upper hand in these kind of things. So whether, when you collect yourself and you're ready enough to face it, make sure that you do face it and not just ignore it. And question for this week is, do I show enough gratitude? I'm big on gratitude. We have talked about gratitude in the past. That's a part of our self-discovery series, just because, showing gratitude, being thankful for where you are, what you have is very big. And I've recently been giving gratitude for where I am not. And it sounds like, what? Yep, I'm thankful for all the situations that have avoided me. I am thankful for the things that, aren't happening to me. And that's big, because there are people that are facing really hard things, not saying that their struggles take away from your own, but, situations can sometimes be a lot worse, and it's okay to be thankful that it's not you. One of my favorite things to say is, I'm thankful for all the things that I wanted but didn't get, just because, where we are now in life, sometimes we don't know how we end up there or what we are doing to be in that place. And it's just like, well, if I had gotten, so for me personally, speaking for myself, like I always do, can't speak for y'all. I love the person that I'm becoming. I love this woman that's talking to y'all, that's looking back at me in my camera right now. She is spectacular. She's amazing. And so, I'm thankful for all the things I didn't get that wouldn't have made me this person that I love so much. And obviously, if I had gotten all those things, I wouldn't be saying this, but I didn't. And we're not going to spend time on stuff that we didn't get or thinking about, well, what if? Nope. I know this version of myself and I love her, and I am thankful for all the situations that brought me here and all the things that I wanted and didn't get that also brought me here. We don't look at, sometimes when we don't get what we want, we look at it as though, we're missing out on something. But it's, again, on perspective. It's about, well, I didn't get that, but what did I gain? And it's not always, and Lord, do I know, it's not always easy while you're in a situation to be thankful for that. But it does make it easier to deal with the situation if you can find one good thing to be thankful for in it. Gratitude, you feel good. I always feel good when I do my daily gratitude. My goal is always 10, and sometimes it's hard to come up with 10 things to be thankful for, especially on the shitty days. But it's always easy. When I can come up with 10 strong things, I do 10 well, I'm thankful for oxygen. I'm thankful, and it sounds silly and it sounds very but again, it's something I'm thankful for because, yeah, oxygen is making me breathe. So, of course, I'm thankful for it. Um, and it seems stupid, it seems silly, but on the days when I can't think of anything else, sometimes I'm just thankful to be able to breathe. Question 5, our final questions for this week's episode is, do I desire to be in a position of power? So not everyone can be a boss, truth be told, and not everyone wants that responsibility, and that is okay. I kind of touched on this on one of the other episodes about, finding your power balance and finding where you fit on that power spectrum. With this, it was, again, I think I've already talked about this, about, just not everyone wanting to be entrepreneurs, not everyone want to be owners of something. Some people just want to live their life, relax, stress-free. They don't want the responsibility that comes with that. And that's okay. Personally speaking, I tried to do a business venture because I thought I would, I thought I'd be good at it, and I thought thought it's something that I wanted to do. And it wasn't, and I'm okay with that. I am okay with that. It was not the right thing for me. My heart wasn't in it. And so it's like, why would I waste my time and energy striving for something that I know I wasn't really passionate about? My passion can be short-lived sometimes, and it's something I'm trying to work on, but I'm okay with that. So find your spectrum, find your place on the spectrum of power and wanting to be in charge or whatever. Again, not everyone wants that responsibility, and that is okay. Some people just want to be mid-level, and don't let anyone make you feel bad for that. Don't. No. But with that being said, that will be all for this week's episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. I am working. We only have 2 more episodes left in this series, not including this one. And I am already working on the next one. It's gonna be heartfelt as always. But thank you guys, and stay strong and power through, warriors. Until next time.